taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic.
Hip hop, what's good? Hip hop, what is good? It's your boy Robb D in the place to be. You already know what it is, man. At the real Robb Diggie on IG. This is episode 10 of season 5, The Transformation of Hip Hop, and we are stopping with Post Malone, man, one of the most gifted MCs in the time period of the transformation and still remaining in hip hop. So that is what we're gonna talk about here in this episode. Before I get off on anything else, today is May 25th, 2022. If you all can flash back in time to May 24th, 2022, there was a mass shooting in Robb Elementary School outside of, I think it was an hour south of San Antonio, where a gunman went into the school and killed 19 kids and the teacher. And I want to say on the record that that is a travesty. And the week before that, if you remember back in time, if you're watching this right now in real time, if you're watching it later on YouTube or listening to it on your favorite podcast platform, we had the shooting in Buffalo where the young white supremacists drove 200 miles to Buffalo to a supermarket and killed 10 black people. I mean, this gun control stuff in the United States has gotten so out of hand where we can't even send our kids to school every day to get an education. And I just want to say on the record that I'm tired. I'm tired of giving condolences. I'm tired of giving moments of silence. I'm not even going to do that in this episode. We just need to make changes and stop sitting on our ass and watch things happen. We need to just start getting active and stopping these atrocities across our country from happening. Our kids can't even go to school anymore, you guys, and it's heartbreaking. So my heart bleed yesterday for those kids that lost their life and their parents and their families and their grandparents and all the loved ones that they have that lost their life yesterday from that terrible tragedy in Texas. So my heart bleeds for them. But nonetheless, we're going to continue to move on, though, and we're going to stop with Post Malone today, and my special guest is Nick motherfucking Gibbs is in the building. All right, let me talk to you all about Nick Gibbs real quick, man. So we have had Nick Gibbs on the platform in about 3 seasons. He's been doing his thing. I haven't seen him in about a year and a half in person live doing his thing. He is probably the most, if not one of the most gifted MCs in the state of Kansas. I'm going to tell you all that straight up. I know it's biased. I don't care what your list is. I don't care if you're from Kansas, if you're thinking about anybody else. Nick Gibbs is the shit. His live performances are the shit. His lyrical ability is the shit. His throwback, his paying homage to hip hop, the hip hop culture is the shit. He is the shit. So that's my guy, man. So he's our guest, and he's coming back for the second time as a guest on the platform. And ironically, I'll let him tell this story as well. But ironically, the last time we saw Nick Gibbs on Diggie 2 was with him and Johnny TGV. Shout out to Johnny TGV, man, if you're watching, brother. Johnny the Good Villain. Him and Nick Gibbs tag team with me for our episode with Snoop Dogg. And what did Nick Gibbs end up doing, ladies and gentlemen? Ended up opening up for Snoop Dogg. Like, you talk about coming full circle. I don't know what I don't know what that is. When you talk about Snoop Dogg on the podcast and they get a chance to open up for the man, like, Nick Gibbs is killing it, man. He is up and coming. He has a ride that he is going to come to a city near you. You all watch out for him on your tour. And we're going to bring Nick Gibbs in, you guys. I want you all to see him, find out what he's been up to. And Nick motherfucking Gibbs is in the building. Nick, talk to the folks, man. Introduce yourself one time, homie. And tell us what's been up with you, man. What's good?
How you doing? It's a blessing to be here, man. It's an honor hearing from the background, man, of all the kind words you had to say. It means a lot to me. Definitely paying homage to hip hop. Love everything about the music, the culture, and showing appreciation. Got a lot in the works. So I have an album coming out. It's in the works as we speak. It's called BBTE, which is Bringing Back the MC. Woo! It's all about paying homage to the MC, to the artistry. Definitely New York style boom bap 90s crisp, just definitely scratches. And shout out to Ethan Oakes for the hookup. But it's I'm done with the auto tune. I'm done with all the extra. What I'm bringing into it is hip hop. I'm bringing real raw hip hop, and you'll definitely get the vibes on that album. So that's coming soon. Monumental Mental, which is one of the singles on that album. So if you want to taste, it's on all platforms. You can find me everywhere. Nick Gibbs 16.com. I've got the merch. I've got everything there. Go ahead and get yourself some new stuff. We got the BBTE album on a t-shirt now. It just came out not too long ago. It's on the website, so check it out. More importantly, cheers. And cheers to hip hop, man.
Cheers, brother. I'm drinking water today, man, because I had a long weekend. So usually I have my hen dog with me, Nikki, but not today, man. I had to slow down, man. I had a little too much fun this past weekend. Shout out to the graduating class of 2022. So I had to slow my ass down a little bit. But man, Nick, talk to me real quick, or tell the audience real fast about your conglomerate, that your collective that you guys are putting together, man. You got a team you're putting together, man. Talk to me about that real quick, man. Or what can you tell us about that collective of minds you're gonna put together for hip hop real quick. Plug that in real quick, bro. Let the audience know what's going on with that.
So I'm gonna spell it out. NOML. Not on my level. That's the group. It's called NOML. And it's paying homage to, again, hip-hop. As a group, as a collective, it's been labeled like Slaughterhouse Vibes, Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest, just keeping as a collective group. We've got 3 crazy MCs. Myself, we've got FYI, who's a fly young individual. And if you're talking about smooth, mellow, kind of roll around and smoke kind of music, that's the vibe that you get there. With a lot of anime punchlines for my anime fans out there.
Word.
Phenomenal artists, and wordplay is just out there. And then you got the chopping monster Sachi the Rebel, which was also in my song Spicy. And let me tell you, gave me a run for my money on his verse. He's a top-notch artist. And as a collective, as a trio, we're just focused on, putting real hip-hop music back out there and coming with some wordplay, saying it with our chest, and ultimately, coming with the stage presence and the delivery, like how the acronym stands for. Just you're good, but you're not on my level.
That's what's up, man.
The collective.
That's what's up, man. So, Nick, I need you to finish this sentence for me real quick. Haven't y'all heard?
What? Name your kids and I put in that work like I'm ASAP Ferg.
Haven't y'all heard? Yeah, that's my guy, Nick Gibbs, man. That's my dude. Shout out to Nick Gibbs, man. But, yo, we talk about Post Malone today real quick. So let's get into the discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, let me roll the tape out real quick. The tail of the tape of Post Malone is a long one, so bear with me for a few minutes here, ladies and gentlemen. Post Malone, government name is Austin Richard Post. How he got the name Post Malone? He actually put his name through a rap name generator, and it came up with Post Malone. That's how we got the name. It is crazy and as simple as that is. But Post Malone is a net worth of $50 million, 3-time American Music Award winner, 4-time ASCAP award winner for songwriting, 12-time Billboard Award recipient, 3-time iHeartRadio recipient, and 1 VMA. He's been nominated for 6 Grammys, and he was nominated for the 2016 XXL freshman class, which I will get to here in a little bit. So the premise for our discussion, actually, Nick, Post Malone is probably one of the most successful artists during the 2010s. He dropped 3 albums. The first one, Stoney, released in December 2016, 5 times platinum. The album starts off with Broken Whiskey Glass, Deja Vu with the Biebs, White Iverson, which me and Nick talked about earlier today, which how he actually got his start in music was with White Iverson. His actual first song, Patient, Go Flex. One of my favorites is My Mama Calls, Seen You on TV. Yeah, congratulations. 11-time platinum single with Quavo from the Migos, Up There, which was produced by Pharrell. That was released in December 2016. 2 years later, he dropped one of my favorite albums of his in his catalog, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, 5 times platinum, April of 2018. That's where the big hit Rockstar with him and 21 Savage, another diamond single, Psycho with him and Ty Dolla $ign, Better Now is one of my favorite Post Malone songs on there, Ball For Me, which has Nicki Minaj, and then 92 Explorer with some of the tracks I picked off, which is produced by Mr. London on the track. And then the last album that we're going to talk about during this discussion is Hollywood's Bleeding, 3 times platinum album, released in September 2019, which has Saint-Tropez, Enemies with the Baby. I love Enemies. I love Circles, Sunflower with Sway Lee, which on the Spider-Man Enter the Spideyverse soundtrack. And that is the premise for our discussion, ladies and gentlemen. Like I mentioned, Post Malone sold a lot of records in the 2010s. So for those of you that don't think Post Malone is hip-hop, I would challenge you to rethink that as we get into this discussion. We're going to prove to you here in a little bit why that is. So, Nick motherfucking Gibbs, my guy, man. Where do we start? Let's start from the beginning, man. Let's start with White Iverson. Like, talk to me about when you heard White Iverson. What were you doing? How did that song connect with you? And from White Iverson to where he is now, in hip-hop. Talk about that transition and how it resonates with you.
So, for me, White Iverson, I was busting tables when I first heard it. And they were playing it in the dishes section of the restaurant that I was working at. And I couldn't help but at first I was like, I don't like it. You know, it's the auto-tune, it's new age, and I'm old school hip hop style, old head, if you will. And I couldn't help but after my shift, I was driving home and I'm sitting here humming it. You know, and I'm tapping my foot and I'm like, I kind of like this song. So I would listen to it. And for me, it hits a lot because it shows me that maybe the new age music, you can embrace a little bit more. Don't be so narrow minded with it. But what I like is his one liners and how he was able to pitch a song and follow this vibe, but then also put some hidden gems into the wordplay, so it keeps even people who focus on the bars to pay attention. And it's crazy to think that it all started from SoundCloud. Like his reign shows to all artists out there. So if you're paying attention, all it takes is one good song. All it does is it takes one, and that'll get you there. And so you're always even if you put out 30 tracks, you know, say in a year basis, you're still that one away from hitting where you need to hit. So it's always patience and moving forward. So that's why he's a big inspiration. And White Iverson was such an inspiring song for me. It was not necessarily the song itself, but because of what came behind it and what type of saturation it created for artists and motivates artists to move forward and try to reach their dreams. So I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, man. You said a lot and very well articulate, Nick Gibbs. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because that single led to him a recording contract, led to 3 platinum plus albums after that. He did touring, he did shows, but let's talk about the appearance of what Post Malone brings to hip hop, right? So Post Malone doesn't really necessarily look like the typical hip hop artist, right? He's got tattoos, he's a white guy, he's got very methodical, not methodical, but rhythmic kind of tones to his music, which is the reason why I like Post Malone is because of the R&B kind of feel and touch he puts to it. You like him for different reasons than I do, which I think is great. I mean, I think it's splitting hairs, to be honest. But because I'm very technical into bars as well too. But when I listen to Post Malone, I'm looking for the methodicalness. The Enemy song, the Circle song. The Psycho, oh my God, congratulations. All his big songs, those are the ones that I like because of the methodical ways that he puts his music out and his art. And he has those one-liners that he sneaks in there just to remind you that he's still a hip-hop artist. So talk to me about the appearance and how he is perceived by the hip-hop community about that, Nick Gibbs.
So a lot of it is this. So a lot of people want to label him as culture vulture. And for me in particular, as a Caucasian artist, it gets thrown in the vicinity of any Caucasian individual going out there and wanting to embrace hip hop. And so it created me to Google what that means. And for me, when I first thought about it, I thought it was because of my complexion that dictates I'm being a culture vulture because it's me trying to be like Elvis. But it's not like that at all. What it is if you're not paying homage or respect or showing that you have appreciation for the culture, that's what makes you a culture.
Mm.
And so by that definition, we can go ahead and take Post Malone out of that culture argument just because of the fact that he may be a guest in the house of hip hop. He takes his shoes off when he walks into the door. So like my thing is he pays homage to the music. You see him doing music with 21 Savage, Ty Dollar Sign, Quavo, artists in the hip hop community, and not only make a bop or make a hit single with it, but you can hit diamond with it. And he also has that R&B melodic side of him too. Like Candy Pate is one of my favorites in the sense of melodic vibes.
Yeah.
And you know, his one-liners with this wordplay, like he go, "How can I make sense when I have millions on my mind?" Or I love my paper like Michael Scott. You know, just one bar liners like that reminds you that it's not just filler words and it's not just the vibe, but you can also have some bars with it. And so I think he pays a good homage to the community, and I think he gives back positive levels with it. You know, he's a good, humble individual. You listen to it in his interviews. You know, he's not somebody who's intentionally targeting this specific lane of music to just profit and leave. He's also respectful with it and puts a lot of people on in that generation of music, especially the here and now music. You know, when you have people like Quavo on your track, part of the Migos, you know, you're having a situation right there where you're giving back to the community by creating profit within the group and the community. So
Absolutely.
I think he does a good job of what he does, and he also did music with Ozzy Osbourne, which, you know, who's got him out of the house, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So what my caveat to that, Nick, is going to be, or my addition to that is going to be for those of you that are listening or watching right now and would think for 1 second that Post Malone is not hip hop. I disagree with you. 1000% I disagree with you. Just about all other things that Nick just said on top of, right? On top of the production he did for most of the albums and the collaborations he's done, Post Malone is hip hop. That's why he's on the podcast this season. So this is not even, to me, it's not even a debate. It's not even a debate how Post Malone is, for those of you that are saying that he's taken from the culture, or no. Taken from the culture is taken away from the culture and not giving back. That's what, and we have African American artists that are doing that right now, right? That are perpetuating. We got some bad seeds out there, Nick, that are African American. That are probably 30 times worse than what Post Malone is doing. You know what I'm saying? So we're not talking about that right now. But what I would say to that is, you know, Post Malone is hip hop, man. Come on, like what are we even talking about right now? You know what I'm saying? Like all of his guest features or all the guests that are on most of his songs. Hip hop artist Nicki Minaj. We're talking about Nicki in a couple of weeks. Nicki is the biggest female hip hop MC on planet Earth. It's on one of his songs. What are we doing right now? This is not even a debate to me. It's not even a debate. It's not even up for debate. What is up for debate though is the freshman class of 2016. So let me read you all the names of the freshman class of 2016 and why this is so significant in our time period of hip hop. So Nick Gibbs talked about those houses, right? So hip hop houses. So if you know, the analogy he used was if Post Malone was to walk to the hip hop house, he'd have to take his shoes off. Okay, that's fair. Hip hop changes and shifts. So there is an entire, maybe a section or room in the house that has 2016, right? So 2016's freshman class includes 21 Savage, Kodak Black, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Dicky, Dave East, Denzel Curry, Designer, Lil Yachty, and Anderson .Paak. Probably one of the most jam-packed freshman classes that we've had in a long time to come. Post Malone is not on that list. Now, there are a couple of what I would say theories of why he didn't make that list. The one that I came across was they thought Post Malone was not hip-hop, and in short. So Post Malone, you know, it was like, What do you mean I'm not hip hop? You know, my all of my songs, White Iverson is hip hop. You know, congratulations, is hip hop. Like, what do you mean I'm not hip hop? So, in that sense, he didn't go to the photo shoot. He was a part of the freshman class. But my point is, Nick, and I definitely want to get your take on this. If Post Malone is part of the freshman class of 2016, he is the biggest artist that is on that list. He is not on that list. I probably put maybe 21 Savage, Kodak Black. I mean, that list is pretty jam-packed with artists, but he'd be the most popular on that list if he was included. But why do you think that is, Nick? Why did not take Post Malone so seriously, and why did he not make the 2016 freshman class of XXL magazine? This is shocking to me when I came across this week. And some of you all look at me right now like, really? And then probably going through Google right now. This is double checking the fact that he's not on there, you guys. I'm telling you, he's not there. But I want to get Nick's take on this, and why didn't the hip hop community take him as serious as a hip hop artist?
So when I think about it, when I'm listening to the XXL ciphers that were being thrown in there, you know, because that's where I really paid attention. I didn't care about the list, but I cared about who was on the list when it was time to shine and show who they are. And you had the monstrosity where Lil Dicky slaughtered both Designer and Anderson .Paak in one fell swoop in the XXL cipher, you know, and you have somebody like Post Malone who throws a little more bars and is a little more. I think it was a fear of how melodic he was and how it wasn't going to mesh. But at the same time, when we run with that contradiction, you had Anderson .Paak who's in there too, and he's like, if I'm saying the name right,
yeah.
But he wasn't. I felt like was a hip hop artist either. I thought he was more melodic. So I feel on both ends. I think they just were worried about how he was going to mesh with the freshman class. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. I think he would have been a better inclusion, especially when it was with Designer and Lil Dicky. I feel like that would have been a better replacement. But that's just my humble opinion. I don't really know much into it, but I could just speak on how I feel.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that it didn't make sense to me that he wasn't on the list. I was surprised about it too.
Yeah, I was shocked as well. And I believe how the story goes is he was selected. However, they felt that he wasn't going to be, in an essence, faithful to hip hop. He wasn't going to continue to make hip hop music, which is when they reached out to his management team. That's what his management team told him. He reached out and went on a big Twitter raid. I mean, you all can go back and look it up online yourself. He went back and forth with the XXL editor. It was like, oh, like, how am I not included on the XXL magazine? She says that we reached out to your management team, but whatever the case is, right? But nonetheless, he's not on the list. But I think that the reason why that's significant to me is when you look at XXL is a well-respected hip-hop magazine, hip-hop publication. We look at XXL for what's coming next, right? I'm looking at the list. 21 Savage, solidified star. Kodak Black, solidified star right now in hip-hop. Lil Uzi Vert. I mean, these are some solidified stars that are in that freshman class. Anderson .Paak is as well in a different lane right now, of course. But right now, he is killing it. Him and Bruno Mars are killing the R&B game right now. So, and why, I'm like, why wasn't Post Malone on there? Like, that it just doesn't make any sense. But, you know, Post didn't want to get on the plane. They said he was tired. But I mean, like I said, you all go read the theories about that if you want to. But I want to get to final thoughts here, Nick, because when I think about Post Malone's story and where he comes from in hip hop, some of his influencers, and he doesn't look like an actual hip hop artist, and some of the hurdles that he has had to jump over and continue to jump over and gain the respect in hip hop community that he still has to fight to earn his place. But I think he's created his own lane. So talk to me about his artistry. So that's what I want to end with last is Post Malone's artistry. He doesn't sound like the typical hip hop artist that we are accustomed to hearing. He's not bar heavy. He's not lyrical. He's very methodical. I mean, melodic with his undertones. And he talks about things that he's going through, whether it's smoking, whether it's drinking beer. He really talks to the average guy, man. That's why I love Post Malone, man. He's just an average ass white dude, man, just making good music. You know what I mean? That's what I love about Post. But give me your final thoughts, Nick, on Post, and then we're gonna start wrapping things up, my good brother.
So I guess my biggest thing about Post Malone that I thoroughly like as in his artistry is because he is different.
Yeah.
And I think that different creates a double-edged sword. You know, you face the situation of like being not part of the freshman class because you're too different. But I also feel like that because he is different, there's not going to be anything similar to what he has done. And I think that's the whole point of music. The whole point of music is creating a platform or something different that's never been done before. And you take it to another level and you pay appreciation through it. You listen to his interviews, you listen to how he converses with individuals. He's a very calming, respectful individual. And so with that comes with, you know, good things. So good things happen to good people. And I think he's legitimately a nice individual, and how he conducts himself as an artist, I feel like is very respectful. And so he has my respect. He's not the top MC in my mindset, but that's not his point. His point is, do you feel something with my music, and do you inspire people, and can you bridge a gap? So hip hop creates a gap sometimes, and there's people like Post Malone who bridge that gap to create more of a fan base into the hip hop community. And I think he does a really good job at that. And I think he has nothing but my respect. And I think that artists out there should show some sort of respect. You mean, you don't have to love the guy, you don't have to like his music, but you got to respect his artistry and his steps, because he took the right steps. That's why he's a step ahead of most people. So I have nothing but respect.
And I have nothing else left to say, Nick. Our very well articulate brother, and thank you for closing the show, man. I mean, wow, that was very, very touching, man. I appreciate you, bro. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start winding our time down. I think me and Nick can sit up here and talk about this. I feel like we can go on for about another hour or so, but we gotta cut things short. We got things to do, you know what I'm saying? We got some food to go eat, you know what I mean? But what we have been doing, ladies and gentlemen, through all 10 episodes up to this point in season 5 is paying homage to the late Daunte Wright by doing a hands up, don't shoot salute to Daunte. So Nick, if you could join me with your hands up in the air for me one time. We're going to show and pay homage to Daunte Wright and all the others that we have lost to social injustice in the United States of America. So when I say hands up, you're going to say don't shoot. We're going to repeat that chant 3 times for the life and legacy of Daunte Wright. So one time, Nick Gibbs, hands up.
Don't shoot.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
Rest in peace, Daunte. Continue to watch over us and all the others that we have lost to social injustice in the United States. And a huge, huge rest in peace to all those kids that we lost yesterday, man. Just an absolute tragedy of what's going on. We got to do better with the gun control laws. We'll talk about that down the road. However, nonetheless, shout out time, Nick Gibbs. Give me your shout outs this week, bro. Who you shouting out, family?
So first of all, I want to shout out to my family in Kansas City. I love y'all. The Dolby family is the
word, man.
It's all love all the time. I want to make a huge shout out to everybody out there who's showing love and support to the hip hop community, people who are showing support to what I'm doing. I want to make a huge shout out to love and appreciation. Love one another, appreciate one another. Life's too short. A lot of things can be fixed if we all think in a positive manner and love everybody like you love yourself. I want to make a huge shout out to my team, Nomal. Shout out to James. Shout out to everybody out here in the hip hop community. Shout out to Wichita, Kansas, man. We're doing things. We're always moving. Whether you hate me or love me, I love you. It takes 2 people to have a problem, and I never have a problem. Okay? So shout out to all of y'all. I love everybody out there, and I want y'all to continue to support music and keep supporting podcasts out here. That's our dream, and we appreciate you supporting our dream. So shout out to you as well.
Shout out to Nick motherfucking Gibbs one time, man. I'll be honest with you guys. I've seen Nick perform maybe 4 times, and he puts on a hell of a live show. And what I love about Nick, ladies and gentlemen, is if you have not come out to see Nick Gibbs, he's coming to a city near you. He's about to go on tour. That's why we're talking right now. Today is Wednesday, like I said, May 25th. Where we're doing the episode a little bit early because he's about to go on tour. So you might see him, at a city near you. So if he's in your area, Go check it out. You're going to get your money's worth. I promise you. He will give you the same energy if there's 5 people in the room or if there's 25,000 people in the room. He brings the same energy. He has one of the best live shows. He's very lyrical. He is a throwback. He's a throwback. That's why I love Nick Gibbs, man. He's a throwback. Definitely an old soul, man. So shout out to you, Nick Gibbs. Shout out to your movement. Shout out to your family. Shout out to your brother as well, who's serving our country as well, too. So huge salute to him, man. Shout out to family. And also, as always, today is going to be May 31st when you all are watching this. So huge shout out to all of our fallen that we have lost to, whether it's to war or any of our veterans that we lost and, through battles or wars or anybody that we lost for Memorial Day. So definitely a huge shout out to Memorial Day. Hope you all had some great barbecue yesterday. Starts off summer unofficially, but we do want to start it off with memorializing all of our fallen soldiers. So definitely huge salute to them. And man, that's all we got this week, you guys. Next week, we start getting into the heavy hitters of the season. Next week, we're going to talk about the late, great Nipsey Hussle. A lot to talk about Nipsey next week, so I'm very, very excited to talk about Nipsey's legacy, Nipsey's contributions, and what Nipsey means to this community that we call hip-hop. So that's all I got this week, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Y'all know my slogan, man. Stay safe, stay humble, stay hip-hop, man. 100, man. Peace.
When I take a few shots, they're too toxic, need to take a new song. And you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough as